we're going to be talking about Nate's initial positioning and some things he can do better as he continues to grow as a player, as a defender. Right now, we see Nate positioned really well in this vert stack. I like how everyone's positioned to take away this strong space on this under. They're putting their body in between the person they're defending. We'll see here that a throw goes off, a break side throw goes off to the weak space, and we're going to talk about how this changes the game. I think we do a really good job at initially positioning, but we need to understand that this game is very fluid and that there are a lot of decisions we need to make once the frisbee starts to move. So we'll stop it right here in this scenario, and we'll draw it out to the whiteboard. We have a cut that goes this way to the break side, and an inside throw over here. And then we'll have a defender trailing. So instead, the scenario becomes this, with the frisbee here. And now Nate is in this position. We can see how this is really hard for Nate. How he has to make up extra ground to get this D. And it's on to the mark's job to seal this. Otherwise, it's a free throw. This is why the not getting broken is very important. This is why that first throw is really important. So we see here that picture where we have both our defenders on the wrong side and we are kind of bleeding out. So we're going to see we get a good seal, and now that throw is no longer viable. So now with this good mark here, this cutter still continues to go that way. We have to recognize that this space right here is really hard to throw to, and we shouldn't really respect it as much. We see even Nate dial in, and he looks and he sees. Now, at this point, we can see how cloggy it is, how dysfunctional it is. I want Nate to kind of reevaluate his positioning and understand that the sideline space is no longer valuable, and he shouldn't really be fighting for it that much. So if we have our offender here, and it's here, and then we have this clown fiesta kind of going on here, we know that this space is no longer viable. Nate needs to reevaluate the strong space now is back here. So we switched. Strong space started here, now it's here, now it's back to here. Instead, Nate is continuing to over pursue, and then he lets this person go straight back under. So we need to be careful over pursuing towards the break side. We need to remember our deny and our contest and keep that. So we're back in the static position, and Nate does a good job at lining up to where he thinks it's guarding. Right now, if the disc is over here, Nate is in direct position. But once again, the disc moves fast. Now we're in another scenario where Nate's position is wrong. He's just kind of directly under, and this cutter can make a clear cut open. So this is why being able to see the disc move or having up calls is important. Maybe like up, four-side gain would be important. That way Nate knows to orbit or to block this off. This is also why poaching is hard, because if I am further off my defender, the disc starts at position 1 and goes to 2. So like let's say I poach on 1, and then it swings to 2, position 2. I need to run a further distance than the offense does. That's why tight person D is probably the better option for us. Whereas here, if it swings from 1 to 2, we need to move an equal distance. So balancing our buffer is important. We'll also notice that while we are good in our stack positions, we need to be ready to move and explode. And I think as this season continues and Nate continues to do these warm-ups with us, that he'll be able to get that faster first step. Now we have the UTSA cutter get the disc. And I really like Nate's mark here. Right here is the seal. He needs to be careful to overbite. He needs to load this left foot and explode to the right. Instead, it looks like he's stepping and not pushing. He's like pulling with his right leg. I need you to push off with your left. And that's a good push right there. Continue to stay low. Use your long arms, but careful about reaching here. You see how your right foot is all your weight is on your right foot, and you're kind of weeble wobbling back and forth. Staying lower, trying to get lower, will help you stay balanced and help you move faster. But overall, this is good job holding the mark, forcing a tough throw, and a tough catch. Very happy with this. Good job getting in front. Good job seeing the positioning. We're just giving too much daylight here. Too much daylight. You can see here on this positioning, she has a straight path right up the line. She's going to take a step forward into you to kind of pull you and then go right by. So you need to be low here. You need to be lower. And I will say this is hard. This is hard. It's a hard matchup, but I think this is kind of where your game will step up. Once again, we're okay with them kind of continuing to jam throws up the sideline. That's okay. But I want to be cautious about this right here. This is scary because she could hit this person right here. You need to be very cautious, or at least when you go up this far, be ready to jump back to seal. Yeah, so to kind of overview, this lesson is not only for Nate, but a lot of players, is that we need to understand that the field moves fast and our positioning is vital. Also, more personally for Nate, try and continue to get low, building those muscle and that strength to stay low and explode by pushing off. Not by pulling with your legs, but pushing.